So, I have just finished, or I basically just had a new roof installed. And I don't know, after being over one roof for so many years and then being able to put a new one on feels really good, but also it kind of comes to memory some things that happened back then that were not so okay. And yes, this does have to do with the Jehovah's Witnesses because that's where I was at the time. So, a little bit of a backstory. I basically inherited this house, and before I inherited it, my name was put on it, and so I could have a home because that's what my grandmother wanted. So she passed away years later. Of course, it's up to me to take care of the property and take care of the house. Fine. I needed a new roof on. However, at the time that this was being planned, this was years, and I mean years ago. Probably almost like 2 decades ago. Uh, and while it was being planned, I was in the Jehovah's Witnesses. Not because I wanted to be, but because I was forced to be. And they found out that I was at some point in time I was getting a new roof somehow. Um, I think I know how they do it, but I'm not gonna say it because it's really just disgusting, and I just don't want to get into those details in this video. So they were planning, they were saying they were trying to help me plan out things, and my mom would come to tell me, you need to go talk to brother so and so because brother so and so can help you with your life in the future. They manipulated her into saying that and told her that, they knew what was best. They could see things. They knew what the real vision was about or whatever, which they never do. They just want to trap children inside of their cult. And so they can try and own their property because it's a real estate business. And they do this holding children by, well, breaking the law. Um, and uh, at times I was told that I would have to speak up about what I wanted. Well, of course, I never spoke up because I didn't want to be in the Jehovah's Witnesses when I was older. Um, that's not a life that I wanted to pursue, and that's not a place that I wanted to be, and that's still the case today. And I expect that that's still going to be the case for the rest of my fucking life. So when this was all being planned out, they said, "Oh, we know what will get him back in here. We'll send over some people to, tell him when is the best time for him to do it and all this stuff." And they were like, "Oh, it's gonna be a whole thing. You'll get plenty of sisters chasing you around because you just got a new roof. Blah blah blah." They do this to entice the young to make them feel like that they actually have a future. They don't. Um, so while I was there, they were telling me all this stuff. I was just ignoring it. I didn't want to listen. Something very traumatic happened to me. No one believed that it happened to me, and they just wanted to go around and act like that everything is fine. So fast forward to today. I'm just getting flashbacks of things that happened and things that were said. And one of the things was, well, if he gets a new roof, it's a sign that he wants to be back in the cult. Because, of course, some sister is going to be attracted to that and he wants to get married. No, I don't. I do not ever want to marry anyone in Jehovah's Witness organization, Watchtower Bible Tract Society organization, because of the heinous stuff that they do to children and the things that they support and the just overall blatant disregard for anyone's humanity at all in that place. It's very sickening to be able to look back honestly and see the perspective that I was in that place, and how they were trying to basically dangle me by their puppet strings so I would say what they want and give them what they want and do what they want. And now fast forward to today, I'm no longer there. I'm no longer playing their game. I'm no longer speaking to them. And every single one of them that has ever tried to contact me via telephone has been blocked. And this is a protection for myself. And the more that they call me, the more that I will continue to block them. Um, I do not find that their tribunals are just. I do not find that their rules are given by an almighty source. And I do not find that their information that they call life saving is even relevant in today, because since the 90s, at least that's when I came around into this world, was in the 90s, they've been shoving down everyone's throat that the next day, tomorrow, is possibly Armageddon. And now I hear that they're even starting to change that, where they're starting to say, no, well, maybe we've been wrong and maybe it's been delayed and all this other bullshit. So all they want is their money, is your money, and all they want is to abuse your children, and so they have Stockholm syndrome, and so they don't leave when they are adults. That is all the Watchtower Bible Tract Society, Jehovah's Witness organization, English, Spanish, Korean, Japanese, Chinese, whatever language worldwide. That's all that it always comes down to, because that's their end goal. And I'm just making this video because I just feel like that this is going to come up in the future. And the reason why I feel like it's going to come up in the future is because my parents especially gave me a very difficult time when I was leaving, saying, you're supposed to be married, you can't leave, you're supposed to be getting married. That's one of the things that they always like to try and hitch on the wagon of brothers, to basically trotting them down more and slow them down in life more, as to give them the false perspective and promise of them being married. Especially because right now the suicide rate for males, especially in America, or actually, you know what? The suicide rate for males worldwide is staggering right now. And most of that is due to just people not caring about men, and, men just being predominantly alone for most of their lives. I mean, eventually what is it? The purpose that a man has comes to be that he needs a family in order to continue to have a purpose, in some cases. And some of that is why men take their own lives. Well, I'm kind of here to say that I don't really give a fuck about ever getting a marital status at all, because I think marriage is a scam and bullshit set up by the Christian system. And I'm not a Christian, and I was forced to, at one point in my life as a child, be a Christian. I was severely abused under Christianity and under Watchtower Bible Tract Society, Jehovah's Witness organizations, laws. So no, I don't want anything to do with your religion. I don't want anything to do with getting married in your religion. I don't even want to talk to people there. I don't care if they're men or women. I don't care if they're millionaires or they're broke as fuck. I don't want to talk to anyone there. I really don't. And it just keeps on coming back and keeps on coming back more and more. And this is something, I'm being 100% serious here. Yes, I have my PNG tuber model up, but you know what? This PNG tuber model is an extension of something that I hold very precious. So please take this video as seriously as the older videos that I posted before of my face being in them. So when my parents came to me And don't worry about how old you are in the Jehovah's Witnesses, because you will never escape while you're in there and while you're submitting to their bullshit rules. That you will always be treated as a child and never serious about anything. So basically, 2022, 2023, because I had left in 2022, um, my parents were telling me, "Oh, you need to come back. This is really serious. You're gonna fuck up your life. You're not gonna be able to be married to anyone in the organization." And as they were telling me this, I said, "Stop it. I don't want to hear it anymore. I've already given you guys my answer. I do not want to be married in that organization to English or Spanish congregation, or for that matter, any other language congregation that is part of Jehovah's Witnesses Watchtower Bible Tract Society. I never want to be married to anyone in there because I never want to be there, and I never want to be a part or supporting any of their systems that honestly do break the law in many different ways, even after they have revised their elders book, their elders manual to shepherd the flock multiple times, and even recently released a new version last year and then another new version this year, and still are too stupid to get it right, are too stupid to admit that they got it wrong. So when I was talking to my parents, or when my parents were talking to me about this, because honestly, it was just a one-sided conversation of me telling them no and them ignoring my answer and acting like I didn't say it, is honestly one of the many reasons why I consider it a cult, because of how deep it digs its claws into your family and will control your loved ones. Because the whole time that they're in there and you're in there, it doesn't seem like anything's going on. But when you come out, you see how much they are actually programmed to just come out and spew Watchtowers bullshit. So whenever the I was leaving and that whole drama was going on, of course they brought up marriage and all this other bullshit. I told them no, it's fake. I never wanted to get married. I told them I never wanted to get married, and they still said, "You know what? You just need to keep on going a little bit longer and then you'll see it. We trust that you'll see it." Guess what, you stupid motherfuckers? I never saw it, because I saw it whenever it popped up when I was a child. And I said, yeah, I don't want that bullshit because this place is fucking abusive. And that was back in the early 2000s. And guess what? It's still the same fucking way today. Nothing has changed. And when you grow up around Jehovah's Witnesses, and I even was pressured to get baptized by my family when I was a child, so I could receive more love. Yeah, well, what a fucking lie that was. Well, you know what? They try to dig their claws in everything, and they try, especially if you have any type of property, they love meddling in that, figuring out your business, figuring out what times you're home, what times you're not home, figuring out what you're doing whenever you go out. No one wants to live like that. No one wants to live that way. And I'm not going to. So back to my parents again. When I was telling them I don't want to hear it because it's not their decision to make, they started saying, "Well, you just lost your house now because your house is like inside of somehow connected to Jehovah's Witnesses." No, it's not. And then I went and I proceeded to do what I wanted to do and study what I wanted to study and search for what I wanted to search for, and my life is fine. And now it's come down to them being so pissed off that they cannot control what I do, to them coming around my house screaming about fucking whatever, I don't know what, because I never went outside because I don't want to see these people and I don't want to talk to these people, and these people are disgusting to me because of how they view life in general. So but on top of my parents, it's like them having amnesia over and over and over and over again, because this message has to get down the line that I am no longer following their bullshit rules, and I no longer want any part of them in my life. Um, I no longer want any part of, Jehovah's Witnesses or their rules or system in my life. Um, Suddenly I start getting all these threats from my parents. Well, you need to move out. You can't live here any longer. Number one, I don't live in their house. This is what they are saying to me. So, number one, I don't live in their house. I live in my house. And number two, they live on my land. So, that's just, you know, out of the question for me. Like, I'm gonna move off of my own land. No, I'm not gonna do that. That's ridiculous. But of course, it's something that a Jehovah's Witnesses would think of, and maybe if they harass and bully this person enough, and I guess just bombard them with scriptural and with scripture and gaslighting, and making someone feel guilty about the choices that they feel makes them feel good in life, that they can somehow maneuver their way around laws and get people to sign contracts that are illegal and get people to give them their stuff. This is their end goal. This is what they want. And also, while I was in Jehovah's Witnesses, I was threatened that if I ever left, they would come and damage my home. This is another thing, especially when I was in the Spanish congregation. That's what was told to me. The Spanish congregation is very abusive to their, I guess, I don't know. I guess maybe it's because Spanish culture is more Catholic anyway. But believe me, if there are children within Jehovah's Witnesses and they're in the Spanish, they are fucking suffering because they abuse the fuck out of their families. They abuse the fuck out of each other, and they gaslight, they threaten each other, they make each other like super scared to like do anything because they're all just trying to have control over one another, like the Borg has control over them. Because at the end of the day, you can only do or put out what you're putting in. So if you're only putting in control and supremacy and giving up life choices that actually mean something to the Borg, then you're going to go and you're going to try to do it to someone else because it was an injustice to you to begin with. You know it's an injustice to you to begin with. And on top of that, you're letting them do this and you just don't give a fuck because you feel like you've been scared into saying that this is the only way of life. So I was pressured in 2022, 2023 to basically say yes to all of these things, or my life would be turned into a living nightmare because I didn't do what Jehovah's Witnesses wanted me to do. On top of this, there are a lot of people that do have malicious intent for people that have been out because they feel that they have the right when they're coming back in to hold some superiority position over them because they never went out themselves. It's a disgusting behavior. It's a childish behavior. And it's just like all the more that this is offered to me, the more I just want to say, fuck you, fuck off, shove your bullshit up your ass, and leave me the fuck alone. But that doesn't happen. Because even today, I'm still getting text that it's basically, we have our meetings today. We're going to our meetings today. Okay, I don't give a fuck about that. I didn't ask you where you were going. I didn't ask you what you were doing. I don't care. But it's still being shoved in my face that this is what I should be doing. No, it's not. No, it's not what I should be doing. No, my place in life is not in Christianity. And no, if I ever have some traumatic accident, am I going to say, oh, Jesus, oh, Jehovah, please save me, because I don't believe in those deities. And the more I see of those deities, the more I see them harming others, especially Jehovah, especially that one. That one is used to harm a lot of people, and I really just do not understand why. But no, I'm not going to sit there and submit to your deities and to what you believe in because you want to pressure me and feel like that you are the only one that can be right in life. The only thing that you are right in is being a narcissist, and that's it. And it's sad that even this, I mean, I did my little, you know, uh, celebration for it by myself, but even like big events, they're just pressured to like come in and try and ruin them because people that leave the truth cannot have happy outcomes in life is their belief. So they will actively work to make sure that your outcome is not a happy one that you want or that you agree with. It is a disgusting way to live in life, and it is a disgusting way to treat people that you claim to care about and to love. So the reason at the end of this why I'm making this video is because I know I feel like somewhere in the future it's going to come up. Oh, he said if he was getting a roof, he was going to be back in here. And some fucking religious nut job sit there and remember that shit and expect to go into people's lives and prove that they're spiritually superior to them by forcing them to come back to a religion that they want nothing to do with in the first place. It is fucking disgusting. It is disgusting. And, right, everyone has freedom of religion in America, but when you don't believe that others have freedom of religion, you are robbing yourself of your freedom of religion. When you don't respect that other people have freedom of religion, you are robbing yourself of that because you are violating their constitutional rights here in America. You choose to do that actively by doing everything that you possibly can to make sure that the person feels like they have to come back to your organization. No, they fucking don't. You fucking goddamn narcissist. No, they don't.